This is Countryball Potato Mayhem, my first ever released mobile solo indie game. Because someone requested it in the comments, and because the game is celebrating 100k downloads on Android only, I made this behind the scenes video to give you some insights of how the game was made and other, hopefully interesting facts. Hi, I'm a part-time indie developer and illustrator. I've gained my knowledge through thousands of online tutorials, and now I want to give something back and share these skills with you. If you like these videos, subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos coming up, and if you want to support me, check out my website that contains my published games and a detailed dev blog and much more, or hit me up on Twitter. It all started back in summer 2018. I was at home collecting ideas for a new game project. At that time, I was still working on my master thesis, which was a procedurally generated exploration prototype. I've made a dev blog about this project on my website, link is in the description. But after making something that's more like a tech demo than a finished game, I definitely wanted to focus on different things, like smaller scope, do something doable in months, not years. I wanted to finish it, and to prove that it's finished, I also wanted to publish it. And with these buzzwords in mind, I randomly asked my younger brother, who was playing on his phone, what kind of game would you make as a game dev? He mentioned intuitively three things. It would be very easy to play, short crispy game loops that motivate you to get better, and something to compare your performance with other human players. Well, I sat down, opened Unity, and made a simplistic prototype. A pink circle that falls down and can be hit with a blue square by tapping the screen. The circle is influenced by physics and bounces off the other objects. If the pink circle falls off screen, the game is lost. I wasn't happy with the simplistic style and thought of adding more character to the shapes, and eventually found this, Poland ball, or country balls in general. Then the green circles became country balls, initially in 3D, but as you can tell they looked poor in quality and not nearly as alive as the original memes. That's why the decision was made to turn it into a stylized 2D game. For the art of the game, I just stick to some very simple rules. Friendly and round, outlines and shadows. From a design perspective, I think it makes the game today look quite coherent. But now let's hop into the development. If you've already played it, you'll surely know that one of the main features is to create your own individual Countryball character out of a base flag and additional funky items, often referred as skins. Skins are virtual goods that player can unlock in the game to create an individual look for their avatars, mostly cosmetics, without giving them an unfair advantage in gameplay over other players. The implementation of the skins was done by making a huge graphics file with all the flag designs, a so-called sprite sheet. This is sliced based on a grid to get a single circular flag. Currently, Countryball Potato Mayhem has over 360 flags and 41 items to choose from. I made a video that shows how you slice sprites in Unity. If you're interested, go and check that one out. Back in the game shop, it looks like this. The single sprites are just being swapped whenever the player presses the next or previous button, all based on an index that defines the region and also the price of the skin. The system is the same as for the built-in meme creator, where players can create Countryball memes with unlocked flags, items, additional graphics, and it has additional possibilities to edit. Let's jump into the first game mode that was part of Countryball Potato Mayhem, the flipper-like paddle hitting game, but this time with much smoother looking stylized cartoon graphics. Yeah, much better. You can see that a classic life system was added and the blue square became a garden hoe. By the way, before I started making this game, I was also working on an augmented reality app where children could walk around real villages and learn about the culture of those places by playing a young fox. The best friend of the fox is this bird, in German called Kohlmeise, and when I translated the app into English, I realized something. Yep, some jokes were made back then. Let's inspect this scene a little deeper. If I select the garden hoe, you can see that it has some sort of collider at its tip. It's a Unity component that's called Collider 2D, and it enables collision in two-dimensional physics simulations. If I select our country ball in the game, you can see that it consists of several layers, each for a specific design element, like the flag graphic, eyes, the drop shadow, and of course the item. And it also has a Circle Collider 2D attached, a pretty similar component to the one that is attached to the garden hoe, but with a circular shape instead of a rectangle. Now obviously the collision lets bounce up the falling ball and lets the character hit other country balls in the scene. Those loose potatoes, the in-game currency that the player collects to beat the worldwide high score and buy new skins. So I create a fresh, empty scene and set up a canvas. Then I assign the camera to the canvas to make it fit the screen, and I add the first image, which will be an object the ball will bounce off. I assign a sprite to the image object. Let's pick this wood design. And let's resize it a little. Alright, now let's do the same step again. Create an image and assign a sprite to create the ball. And I'll pick the Countryball Polish upside down graphic here. I'll pick the wood piece again and add this component by hitting the Add Component button in the inspector and searching for Box Collider 2D. Then it needs to be resized to fit the shape in the collider settings right in the component. Easy. Same procedure for the ball, but let's add a Circular Collider 2D and adjust its radius. And now, when I press start, of course nothing happens. We haven't applied any physics bodies yet. Let's do that now. And select the ball from the hierarchy on the side and add a rigid body 2D component. The settings stay as they are, dynamic and with the simulated checkbox ticked. Press play and the ball is falling, and it collides with the other objects in the scene. Let me fast forward to following fine-tuning a little bit. You just saw the circular shape is reacting like a physics object to the collision it receives. Perfect, but quite boring. When inspecting the rigid body 2D component, you will notice a slot for a physics material. Let's quickly create one. Right-click under any folder, create physics 2D material and name it anything you want. I'll go with strong bounce. It has two adjustable values. We'll put friction to 0 and give it a bounce value of 2. Drag and drop the material onto the slot for it and let's see how it changes our previous setup. There we go. You can see 2 was probably a too high value. Let's fix it and change the scene also a little with the knowledge we gained. I found that a value of 0.8 bounciness looks pretty promising. Here's the result. It already reminds us of the base scene setup we have in the final level. Cool! A ton of other mechanics are also based on collision. For example, the different special potato effects that affect the speed and other things in the game work the same way. Did you notice that those collisions don't let the country ball itself bounce off? It's because they are set as triggers in their Collider 2D component. Showing you how to code this game would be way too much for this video. That's why I'll leave out the quiz game that is also part of the Countryball Potato Mayhem app, because the core of that play mode is sitting in the logic of its script. However, if you want to know more about how to write code in Unity, I encourage you to check my series on how to make a simple game in Unity, where I explain step by step and hands-on how you can make a simple game using C# to code. Looking at the next play mode, Seagull Sailing, you'll immediately see that it took inspiration from the all-time classic Flappy Bird. But it adds a few new features to enhance the experience. Namely, you're not influencing your country ball's flight direction. By tapping the screen, you let the seagull fly. That is connected via a so-called hinge joint to the country ball's body. Due to the mass of each chain part and the country ball, the flight becomes much more influenced by physics. I kept working on Countryball Potato Mayhem for over 2 years now. Since launch day in January 2019, the game got 20 updates with all new features. Of course, I thought that I could make money out of the game. I just wanted to make sure it's not pay to win, because that's why I made potatoes the in-game currency. They are yummy and the players can get their favorite skins without affecting your power against other players in a global ranking. Second, I do use ads, Unity ads to be specific, as they were fairly simple to implement. As I personally don't like weird ads in any type of game, I decided to let the players decide if they actively want to watch an ad, so that they're never forced to, and then reward them, in this case with an extra life. Nevertheless, from today's perspective, the game is an economical failure. I needed software licenses, music licenses, and my own time to build the game. Additionally, I started a tiny marketing campaign using Google Ads and Instagram ads. On the other side, of course, the income from sales and ad revenue. All summed up, I earned around $750 on this game, means I approximately worked for $1.45 per hour. Why did I kept going? Mostly because so many of you guys liked it. The positive feedback from your players, that's also why I tried to reply to each of your comments personally. On the other hand, the whole project was kind of a test for me, to learn the process of starting an idea to developing a full game, releasing and maintaining it, and do a little hands-on marketing tryouts to see how it performs on a global market. What about the future of the game? Well, I'm working on an online multiplayer game mode, but I don't want to tell too much too soon. And just like last year over Christmas, I definitely want to do another charity month where I donate 90% of the income of Countryball Potato Mayhem to some charity like UNICEF. I thank you all for watching, and please let me know in the comments if you liked this video or Countryball Potato Mayhem in general, and leave a thumb up. Keep playing, guys. Cheers.